Hi, welcome to Another Fake Diaries with me, Dr. Danso. I'm back with these lovely ladies and we're hoping to talk a little bit about periods and contraception and hopefully dispel some of the myths, particularly that are associated with contraception.
I think so. One thought that I had was not necessarily with women of our age, it was actually for young women, especially like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. We started periods at 12. Yeah. We were allowed to have sex at 16. I don't think this has been talked about as much at that young age. And I know, me personally, my periods were horrendous when I was younger. And I was throwing up, vomiting, diarrhea, throwing up at school, throwing up at home. Like, it was very bad. And as I got older, it's actually gotten better. And I think that's actually quite common. When you're younger, it's worse. I think if I had the optional, if I'd even thought the pill could hurt worse, I would have definitely taken that.
But actually, Mummy suggested it to me.
What the? Anyway, I don't think it's necessarily spoken about to some siblings.
That's weird that you do. But usually I've found that the girls that come in is because, my friend got it and it's really helped her periods, or our mum is knowledgeable about it and is open to talking to them about it. It's not open to discussing in schools like with sexual education for women, for girls especially.
What about the implant?
I tried, like you were saying, that it's different for everyone because I tried several different pills and none of them sat with me. Some of them made me crazy, some of them made me break out, some made me gain weight. It just wasn't working for me personally. And so the implant, I'm actually on my second one now and I can't imagine not having it.
A lot of people are really squeamish about the idea of having something that they can feel.
Yeah, but you don't play with it. You don't think about it, and for me, because I scar quite badly, so it's left a little mark, but it's something that and to be able to know that for years and years I can just go about my life with no worries and not having to take something every day. So I just have to set my mind to take it.
That's a big factor.
I forget about it.
I'm not good at taking it every day, particularly the pills that you have to take at the same time every day.
Because you have periods on your implant or none?
I'm mixed. So for the first one that I had, actually I bled a fair bit, but since this one, it's almost like a regular period that I have, but then it's shorter and it's lighter. So for me, it works really well.
And the Mirena coil? We'll start with you, Tolly. How long have you had your...
Oh God.
I think I actually know this because you messaged me.
I've probably had it for about 3.5 years now.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, so I maybe have like 2 years left, which is sad because it lasts for 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is why it's really useful. The whole process was fine. It's really handy. I mean, like I like the Mirena. I didn't get many side effects, and I used to get horrible period pain. Don't get any now. They're like super light. I can't. I mean, the only problem is the actual procedure of having it. It's not that fun. It's not that great.
So it's like a bit like, is it like a severe period pain for like a day, 2 days?
So it's probably for like a day or two. Yeah, a day or 2 days. And actually, the first time. The one that I had, the first one, they didn't put it in properly. So they couldn't find this. So because when you have the Mirena put in, you have another appointment in about 6 weeks to check that it's in the right position. So they check the strings and stuff. So they couldn't find the strings. So and then I had to have like an ultrasound to make sure that it hadn't moved and perforated my bowel. It hadn't.
Very rare, I must say.
That doesn't happen with it.
But it was fine, and then the other one was put in and it was fine, and it's been fine since. I recommend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And do you have periods?
It's variable because with Mirena, sometimes with some people you don't have any periods. Yeah, so mine is sometimes I don't, and now it comes and goes. Yeah. But I'm fairly regular, so that even if it hasn't come for ages, when it does, it's still according to.
And it can also be used to people that have very heavy periods.
Yeah, it's amenorrhea.
That's how I have mine, but so I have this like beast of a thing growing in my womb, And so
Do you want to give people a bit more detail?
They thought it was a fibroid, and I had surgery on it maybe 3 times, which was through my vagina. So they would just like basically use this whirling blade to cut this fibroid out. And each time they did it, they would put in a new coil. Because I was having symptoms anyway because of the fibroid, I don't really understand what it did, but basically because my bleeding was so heavy, I would have these episodes where I would be passing a lot of clots, maybe like the size of my hand, and it would push the coil out. So the first time it happened was my 30th birthday, and I was
great time, yeah. But the doctor was like, "Don't go to this party." I was like, "I'm going to this party tonight. I'm doing this." But yeah, and even when it happened, I remember laughing because I was like, "What the F is going on with my body right now?" I knew that I had fibroids, but this was at a point where I'd gotten bad. So I've been dealing with fibroids for since I was 23, 24, and that kind of just creeped up on me. My periods got more and more heavy. There was this time where I was healthier and I was running before work, so I had to change of clothes, and I came to work, and then within 20 minutes of me changing my tampon, I'd bled through my clothes. And I was walking around the office, and my colleague was like, "You should go to the toilet." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And then that was the beginning of it. And then because it was only ever happening during my period, for the rest of the month I kind of forgot about it. But I've always had this feeling, or my biggest worry is that I can't have children. So when things started going wrong with my period, I was like, at least I'm having periods. That was in my mind, just at least I'm bleeding all the time. So that means I'm still producing an egg, something's still working. I think if I'd not been having periods, I would have felt more worried because I was something's in jeopardy. So that went on for a while. I went to my GP, they were really useless. I'm not saying that all GPs were, but the first thing sorry, I love my GP, I love the NHS, I've had a really good journey with them. But when I first went, they basically said that, the only option is that you probably have to have hysterectomy.
Can I ask a question? Did you have a male or female GP?
Female GP.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think it was also down to training, as in, my sister's an obs-and-gynae registrar, and she was like, if I didn't have her, I don't know what I would have done. I wouldn't have had access to as much information. But she was like, your GP shouldn't really say that. If you've got a gynecological problem, you should be referred to a gynecologist. And it wasn't until I felt really ill, I was to my breaking point, and I was changing, and someone was watching me change, and they'd had a miscarriage. And they were like, I didn't believe that much when I had a miscarriage. And I just started crying. So I was like, what are you doing to yourself? Why are you ignoring this? Why are you putting yourself through this? And anyway. So I went to the doctor, and they cut it out again. And then I had another thing happen because the coil got pushed out, nothing was working. I was exhausted all the time. I felt depressed, I guess that's what it was, because I had no control over my body. I was worried that I couldn't have children, and I became quite withdrawn, and it's really hard to be intimate with someone or kind of even start a relationship with someone. Got a big thing about being vulnerable as well, and feeling that way and not being able to be strong. So that kind of took that all away from me. So in January I had an operation because they were like, got a fibroid, and they thought it was 5 centimetres wide. But when they cut me open, well, they didn't cut me open, it was supposed to be keyhole surgery, it was 15 centimetres, so it was grown. And it was actually this thing called adenomyoma, which is halfway between fibroid and endometriosis, and it basically engulfed my womb. I had smelt with it, so kind of think of it like a leech, and so it spread my womb out. So they ended up having to cut me open. So now I have C-section. So this is a really long story.
So
I had a C-section. I had a C-section scar now, which is cool. I can only have children through C-section now because of what they did. But it was supposed to be an hour and a half. They spent 4 hours reconstructing my womb, cutting away this thing that was just. At one point, I was like, I can feel this thing growing. I was talking to myself, I'm really in tune with my body, and I was like, I can feel this thing growing. I would wake up and my stomach would be extended and hard, I could see it tensing. And even throughout my periods, I can see my womb contracting, I could see it doing that. And beyond the pain, it was just a massive inconvenience. A 40-minute commute I couldn't manage without bleeding through. And I'm talking super tampon, nighttime sanitary towel. I'm changing just before I leave my house. I'm getting to work, and I'm meticulously checking on every seat that I sit on because I think I'm bleeding out everywhere. So then obviously, and then I was like severely anemic. So after they cut it out, even like the next day, I felt completely different. People were like, "Are you alright?" And I was like, "I'm fine." But it was a really complicated surgery. I was like, "I feel effing amazing." Like, I felt like I lost 3 kilograms from them cutting that thing out. I had to have a blood transfusion. I didn't even feel anything. They're like, "Are you okay?" They're like, "Let's do blood." It's like, cool. They're like, your hemoglobin's at 68. It should be like 125 or 130. So they gave me a blood transfusion, gave me another transfusion. But during this whole time, I think nothing makes you feel more grateful for everything else that's going well in your life and when something bad is going on. So it wasn't a negative experience. It wasn't like, why me? Like, people go through so much worse, and that's not even a reason to not feel that way. But I felt really supported by my family, really grateful that I had the sister that I did, the friends that I do, people that I could seek counsel from, and it's even just a conversation of periods, because what you think is normal might not be normal. I was suffering through this. Everyone says their period is painful. I wet myself one time because it was so, I couldn't move. Like, I didn't even need to weep. Like, I
think this is great because particularly periods, everyone does actually say I've got really bad period pains. But the scale is so different, and that's why I think it's really important to have this discussion, because there's going to be someone watching me like, oh my god, what you're saying is what's happening to me. So it's great, but I think also there's other symptoms that we're, especially as women, that are deemed as well, not normal, but like there are symptoms that we kind of ignore, we don't talk about. So that are actually can be signs of things that are more serious. So heavy painful periods isn't normal.
That was a really great discussion, and I'm really glad that these women chose to open up and were so honest about their own personal journeys. Just to say that there's no evidence to suggest that contraception affects fertility. Having said that, those on the injection, it can take up to a year for fertility to return completely back to normal. I hope you enjoyed that. For more information, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and Twitter @Clinic Diaries.